If you click this video, you're likely interested in things that I'm interested in. Bourbon, whiskey, scotch, cigars, fast cars, more importantly, cybersecurity field, and potentially how to make a living in the cybersecurity field. I am Demetrius Deck, also known as DD335, also known as Sergeant Deck, also known as Normal Guy Super Life, and more importantly, a title that I recently inherited, Dada. And what I do has evolved over the years as well. I'm going to take the time to put together a video that would really help people kind of walk the path that I'm on, simply because I'm always asked, what do I do? How do I do? How do we get to where you are? So I'm hoping that this can be the foundation of it. Travel has always been a part of my life. So now when I travel, I find myself working out in hotel gyms or trying to find a gym to go to, be it anywhere and time of the year, given the weather. One of my favorite things to do is go outside and run. Be it running the beaches of Miami, running the beaches of Hawaii, running the beaches of Australia, running beaches of Greece. I love to just get out and run. Back to being the traveling ath nerd, not an athlete, because my math sucks. So I will never say I'm an athlete. Unfortunately, I lost my abilities to be really good at math. I used to be phenomenal at math when I was younger, but growing up playing baseball, basketball, football, a number of concussions. It's like Troy Aikman, I'm probably 1 or 2 concussions away from being a vegetable. Back to traveling, right? I'm a Marriott ambassador. I have been a Marriott ambassador since inception of the program back in 2018. Feel free to look up what the requirements are to be a Marriott ambassador. But what I appreciate about the ambassador program is anytime that I need something, I have a dedicated person I can call. More on the travel piece. Been Delta Diamond Medallion for about the last 4 or 5 years running. Even through COVID, both Delta Diamond Medallion and Marriott Ambassador. When I say travel is truly a part of my life, it is. And I'm fortunate that I've seen so many places. Some of it personal expense, some of it personal trip, also a lot of it work. And we'll get to those things later. What I do, I'm sure that's the big question in everyone's mind. What do you do? How do you do that you're able to afford your lifestyle? First and foremost, I am an IT professional, and cybersecurity really gave me the foundation to do other things and expand into other things. So that gave me the foundation to start making cryptocurrency investments, gave me the foundation to start some day trading. I'll never get into those things in here because that's not my specialty. I can't speak intelligently to those, but I did make some money in Bitcoin. And what did I do? I took that money and I put it into real estate. And real estate is really my passion. Back in 2009, I bought my first house. 2010, I broke my femur, found myself sitting on the couch for some months and was like, you know what? Since purchasing my first home, I have built 3 other homes from the ground up. Currently have a project in Baltimore that is under renovation. That should be available this summer. Qualifications, because I'm sure people are like, oh, anybody can make a YouTube video about being in the IT field and being an IT professional and not have any qualifications or any skills. You can look me up on LinkedIn. You can find my Credly. So I have credentials. Continuing to develop those skills, and I'll continue to add more to that list. Things I currently possess, from ISACA and certification body, CISA, CISM, CDPE, from ISC squared, SSCP, and I have a few other that I won't get into, IT management certifications. In terms of healthcare specifically, found a knack in health IT, and it's something that is needed. So we'll explore health IT in depth as we continue down the path of what it is to be a cybersecurity professional and what some of the different disciplines look like. PMI, so the Project Management Institute, I'm a project management professional. Can't fake that one. From CompTIA, CTT+, so I'm a certified technical trainer. Therefore, that gives me the credentials to provide technical training. Unequivocally, they have blessed off on me, and yes, I can do that. And I have Security Plus, I have Network Plus. I'll go back and work on some other things later. Personally, for me this year, I have a few different certifications that I am going after. We'll get to that at another time. But just know that I am continuing to sharpen my skills along with bringing other people with me. Why am I doing this? Again, it's about giving back. It's about helping people. I would say probably on average once a week, somebody stops me and says, "Hey man, what do you do? How do you do? How do I get there?" After being asked that question so many times, particularly here in recent history, there's been some major changes in my life in the last 6 months that people have really taken notice and they paid attention to. So folks want to get to where I am, and I'm more than happy to show them how to do it. So if you're willing to put in the work, let's go for this journey. Let's go for this ride. I really believe that we'll find many common grounds along the way. One of my uncles, and I consider him to be a mentor in life, is he's shown me what it is to give back to your family and set a high bar. One of his quotes is, "To whom much is given, much is expected." So it is incumbent upon me to give back, and this is a way of giving back. Many years ago, but in 2016, my uncle had one request for the year, and it was to spend Thanksgiving with his family. He lives West Coast, everybody else is East Coast. Put out a proposition: anyone in my family that comes to California for Thanksgiving, I will cover your expenses up to this. So it was, you get there, you provide the lodging, he's got everything else covered. He's got food, and if you need help with lodging, he'll help you. If you need help with an airline ticket, he'll help you. He just wanted his family to be with him for Thanksgiving, no matter what the expense was, because sometimes it's not about the expense, it's about the experience. That's something that I have truly tried to embody. Other things, one of my other mentors, won't say a name, but he said, once you make it, be it in life or be it in this profession, if not both, because there'll come a point where they're synonymous, you need to give back. And again, this is my way of giving back and my way of helping people. So if what I do here allows me to give back and to help people, then box checked. Personally, I enjoy helping people. I enjoy educating. I spent 5 years as a cybersecurity instructor, as a DoD contractor. I truly enjoy helping people. I spent 2 years helping to run an Air Force new recruit program. I think I forgot to mention who I am, being Sergeant Deck, one of my other names. So I'm an Air Force reservist and I also do cybersecurity stuff for the DoD as well. But I ran one of the new recruit programs, and because helping people and giving back is truly in here and preparing them, while they went through my program in the course of 2 years, we had about 12 people go through Air Force basic training and come out as honor graduates. And then after their basic training, when they went to their initial job training school, we had about 20 people come out as distinguished graduates. If I've had a shortcoming in life, and if I can share my horror stories and help prevent you from making those mistakes, that's what I'm here to do. People always say, like, well, I don't think I'll fit in because I don't want to do coding, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that. Fair. I suck at programming. It's probably my weakness. But you know what? I've accepted a job at the military where that is going to be my job, is programming and doing development. Why? Because I suck at it. So if I'm forced to do it, I'm only going to get better. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to accept that. So identifying my weaknesses and coming up with a way to shore up my weaknesses or strengthen my weakness is only going to make me better. Then I can share that here. But if you say, I only want to do this just for the money, and there's not some type of intrinsic value that comes beyond just the money, maybe it's not for you. But that can be said about anything. I know that I would rather be a six-figure employee and kind of not necessarily be feeling what I'm doing. But the field is so vast within, I won't even say cybersecurity, we'll say within the IT field as a whole. Because security is its own discipline. The IT field as a whole, there's so much that you can do with the advent and addition of AI being its own discipline, and how that is utilized throughout the entire IT space, or how that's used throughout business in general, or the tech industry in general. So many different things that you can do and be successful into this space and not feel as though you have to be a hacker You have to be a great programmer slash coder. It's not sitting in a cubicle. It's not sitting in a basement. It's not eating Cheetos and drinking Mountain Dew. It's none of those things, right? Like, don't feel because you don't do those things that you don't have a space in this field. I'm a black man in the military. There's not a lot of us. I'm a black man in the military that doesn't carry a gun for a living. I don't blow people up. I'm not getting deployed. I type in the keyboard. I'm in a very small group of people. And there's not a lot of those that look like me. So it takes a little bit of confidence to walk into a room that not a whole lot of people look like you. And not want to be subject to, well, let me just do those things that they do to fit in. Let me do these things just because it's going to make somebody else happy. Can you learn from other people? 100%. If someone is a super duper, as a coworker of mine say, super duper turbo nerd, you can learn from that person, take the time and learn from them. Maybe put them in a situation where they feel more comfortable, or maybe make it known that you might be slightly uncomfortable, but you need to make yourself feel okay and comfortable, right? Like, there's finding a common ground with people. It's not hard. You just have to speak to them. You just have to communicate. A good friend of mine taught me many years ago, 3 things you need to be successful for where you want to go. And he was saying this for me specifically. He said, a good drink, you know your bourbons, whiskey, scotches. You know a good cigar. You know how to tell the difference between a good cigar. It's like, and you need golf. I was kicking and screaming. I'm like, golf, I don't want to do it. 2021, I moved to a golf community. So that right there tells you it can definitely make a difference. And as I've matured professionally, personally, and just gotten older, start to learn, like, there's a lot that's traded in the golf course. I remember growing up, it was baseball, not baseball so much, but a little bit of baseball, basketball, football, basketball, football, basketball, football. The most famous athletes ever constantly playing golf, Michael Jordan, just bought a new house here in Florida. Guess what? It's on the golf course. Maybe there's something to that. With that said, what to expect? Bite-sized chunks of training, like things that you can digest pretty easily. I'm usually good at finding analogies for technical terms, or like just helping people to understand things in layman's terms. I'm more than happy to drop some of those gems and share, especially when it comes to something like the Security Plus certification and how do you understand things in risk and risk assessments. One of my favorite things is every adult that drives a car does a risk assessment every day. Think about it. Take a second, think about it. What are the risks involved with driving? Something that we tend to take for granted. You could die. It's a risk that you have to accept. What is risk acceptance? What is risk mitigation? How do you mitigate that risk? What is risk deterrence? What is risk transference? What do all those things look like related to driving? And that'll be your first lesson. And with that, I think we'll close out talking about what's sitting on the table today, or what's on the desk today. So, in my decanter here, aptly being the globe and a ship. So I'm not big into sailing. I've done it a couple times. Actually, I've grown an affinity for it. Want to buy a boat probably within the next year or two. I got my eyes on a 30-foot Sea Ray. We'll get to that another day. But the world's at the palm of my hand, and some of the fruit of the ocean. So in the decanter is Jefferson Ocean, and later this will be paired with the Davidoff Nicaragua 10-year. So this was a box that I recently bought. So every day or every session, I want to bring you bourbon, box, cigars, and bites. So bourbon, box, and bites is what I'm going to target every one of these sessions. look forward to doing more with you.